All right, this is from an Annoyed Robot X. With so many AAA games having paid DLC, microtransactions, loot boxes, etc., added to games that are already $60 new, do game budgets need to be reduced, or do the price of games need to increase to reduce the prevalence of these practices? I'm getting a little heated right now.
So I've said this before. I'm pretty sure I've said it on here, but maybe not super recently. I have said for a long, long time that video games need to get rid of this notion of a $60 price point being the standard price point, or I guess the maximum price point, because almost no game that comes out these days is $60 flat if you want to include the DLC and everything else that comes out. Look, books don't have one price, records don't have one price. Very few things have one price.
Sure.
Charge what you think the fucking game is. Board games don't do it. It's not like all board games are $39.99, you know, whether they're made with it. Just charge the price that you think the fucking game is worth. I realize that I'm sure there's plenty of business reasons why they don't. Fear of paying for, oh my God, that game's $100. Well, and now that there's been, at least a decade of all this microtransactioning, I think if you did charge for a full game at $100, people would still be skeptical about there being DLC or added stuff.
I see.
But we do charge downwards for games. Indie games are far more fluid in what they're charging.
But not AAA.
I think that we really need to get to the point where it's time to look at the AAA price point potentially going up.
When did that solidify at $60, would you say? Was that like early 2000s, that sort of solidified?
That was right, I would say, after the PlayStation 1 era. I would say PlayStation 2 era, Xbox, GameCube era, I think, was when it all started to solidify at 60. Because there was still some
cartridges there were some NES games that were $80, some were $50, some were $40.
There was a lot.
Super Nintendo was the same way.
It had to, based on the materials it was actually going to use in the cart.
Memory chips, things like that.
So I think that there's an argument to be made for that here. Now, they kind of do. Oh, you can get the limited edition, the deluxe edition, but it's the phrasing that I think drives some people nuts, and it drives me. There's nothing deluxe about me buying the full game up front. I mean, that's just an edition. That's just the full edition. You change the regular edition to starter edition. I don't know what to say. Yes, they're putting full games in to these, but so many of these, most AAA games, you are missing something down the line if you're not buying the DLC.
Yeah.
It for a long time now, the full price of a game has been $100. Just fucking sell me the $100 game.
Yeah, and that's the value of what a $60 game was 20 years ago. $60 is worth like $100 now anyway, so you're not paying more. We talked about inflation before, but no one ever brings up inflation. I don't know why. We never talk about inflation when it comes to this stuff.
I don't know. So, I do think that we need to get to that point. I think we bring it up to 100, for certain games, and we eliminate the amount of DLC. We eliminate the microtransactions. We let people have some fucking cosmetic items.
They got to say it up front and then stick to it.
Well, of course. That's what I just said was that I think there is, I can understand from a certain level, because I'm sure there's some consumer fear that if someone says we're releasing this game at $100, no DLC, their immediate reaction is going to be like, fuck you, there's going to be DLC.
Yeah, because all it takes is like one company like Konami or Capcom to say, oh yeah, we're going to put out this Resident Evil edition. Remember that, like the typewriter bullshit? I almost forgot about that. Or, okay, we're going to put this game for $99.99. And you're going to get all this stuff. This is what we do. We normally would split it out separately. You're going to get all this stuff.
All it takes is
a
time machine back to Street Fighter 4, where Capcom goes, you know what? We can charge people for costumes instead of letting them unlock them, and then you start the whole cycle all over again.
Because unfortunately, it comes down to the consumer. People pay for it. People pay out the butt for stuff, and they don't think about it. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they have the money. They don't worry about their mortgage. But people end up spending a couple $100 on all this extra crap, and it happens with mobile games too. And they'll keep continuing to doing it. There's no discipline as a consumer.
I'm sure that for business reasons, there's many reasons not to. But
we didn't talk about the Super Mario app. How much money Nintendo's raking in from that? We didn't even talk about that.
Which one?
The Super Mario Kart app game.
Oh, I have no idea how much money they're raking in from it.
A lot.
Okay. I guess I realize that there's money to be made in doing it bits and pieces wise, but look, charge me more and let me get fucking cosmetics back for free, please.
At least cosmetics.
Please let me get cosmetics back for free. I don't want to pay for a cosmetic. As a person, like, I want stuff to unlock in a game. Give me some unlockables back. Charge me more for the base game outright, but give me unlockables.
They don't make money on you doing that.
Right. But they could make money on charging. I know it's partially just me. It probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but I would feel a whole lot less insulted if they would just charge me $100 for the game and not give me a $60 bare bones option.
Terms of revenue, I mean, it's DLC, but whatever. Mario Kart Tour, in its first month, was downloaded over 123 million times. Generated 37.4 million in player spending so far. That's in 1 month. 1 month, Ian. It came down to an average of 26 cents spent per player, but I guarantee you that's not the average. People either spending nothing or a lot.
Well, that's the old discussion there on what's called a whale in a mobile game. You don't have a lot of people who spend anything close to an average. You have a bunch of people who spend nothing and a few people who spend the maximum.
Half the people are probably not spending anything that download it. Then you have a chunk that are spending probably $40-$50 each, and that's how this comes down to. So yeah. Well, I don't know what else to say about this. I'd be on board for that. I'd be on board for, like, I mean, they do it with the pinball machines. They do the special.
Don't even get me started on the fucking pinball machines.
Well, yeah, because who's buying the crappy standard one?
Lots of people, and it fucking ruins what could have otherwise been, like.
Well, blame Stern for that, I guess.
Oh no, I mean, I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah,
and I love a lot of their machines, but no, I fucking cannot stand the Pro.
Three versions of machines. Just give you three. They do.
Well, one's usually just like a nicer cosmetic cabinet, but there's two versions of playfields, and that will never stop fucking driving me insane. All you have to do is look at, and I really don't like Black Knight Sword of Rage, but Black Knight Sword of Rage, the Pro model, does not have the second level.
Playfield.
You just eliminate a whole second, and
so that changes the entire game.
And AC/DC was another one that had a huge change like that. AC/DC, the Pro version, doesn't have the sub playfield.
Who would buy the regular one without that then?
People who put them on. I always refer. I don't know if it was meant with what they were meant to, but I always thought of them as production models. They're the ones you put out on the fucking floor. Granted. I feel like that was meant to be like the ones people would buy and throw out on like operating routes. But the thing is now places that have pinball machines for the most part it's niche enough that to drag people out, you're gonna want to have the
full one
model. Yeah. Now, not all of the really nice models. I mean, you still see the Pro models out. Like for Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden, the limited version is fantastic. It is, but the Pro model plays great. Like a lot of these have things that they engineer them in ways so that they play better. But whatever. I can't handle that. Sometimes it drives me insane. It feels like you're getting half a machine. I wonder who the fuck pays $7,000. Lots of people do, but you're paying $6,500 for one as opposed to $8,000, and you're missing for certain titles like Star Wars. Not that big of a deal, but I feel like with some, like the ones I mentioned, huge deal. Annoying. Fucking annoying.
We love you, Stern. Thanks for the t-shirts. There.
Good t-shirt. Thank you. I like it. I like a lot of your machines. I like Jurassic Park. Tron's like my favorite machine in the past 15 years. But Iron Maiden's outstanding.
I'm sorry. 3 versions of a pinball machine is really rough.
Like I said, I don't care if they want to fucking do a powder-coated, fucking fancy mirror-backed whatever. If some guys
as long as the mechanics.
If some guys got the money, that's fine. But really, the whole lesser version just drives me insane.
It'd be like buying a video game and whole gameplay features are just missing in that version of it. Like,
yeah, and the thing is, obviously, with a pinball machine, you can't go and add that back later. You just buy it all at once, or you don't.
Oh, you can't get an upgrade kit.
Installed. You can't buy the second, the second level for Swords of Rage. Yeah,
you couldn't just have Billy Pinball Guy install that. All right, went off on a tangent there, but we made it interesting there. There you go.